What's up? Yo, back at the shop. What's going on, everyone? Back at the shop. It's an important weekend actually because I gotta finish up the last couple bits on the car. Really important because need to get this thing MOT'd next week because I have an appointment on the 19th to bring the car to the restoration shop so we can get a proper quote and really decide the next steps we're going to do to the underbody, the weld work that needs to be done, even maybe paint work. I wasn't going to paint it here in this country. I was going to paint it back in the States at my boys, but if there's like a package deal where it's all together and for a decent price, maybe we do that too. So let's get started at some of the missing pieces that we have. All right, so we had one missing piece on the car, if you remember from our last episode, and that was the driver's side tail light. The entire bezel, all the mounting points were fucking broken on it. It was horrible, actually. So I ordered off eBay another tail light, a midnight purple tail light. So the bezel should be close to the color that I require, and let's examine it now. All right. I guess first impressions from far away, it looks fine. I'm sure on camera it looks great. But looking a little closer, I'm kind of disappointed because I paid 70 pounds for this piece of shit. So the blinker broken at that end. Comparing that to the one that came off my car, you can see it extends quite a bit farther and it has like a little return there. The bezel looked great in the photos. I could tell all the screws were intact when there was a photo from the underside, but I just noticed that this mounting point is busted, so that's broken. Bought some super glue for it, so I'll try to mend it. But I think what I'm gonna do here, with my almost 70-pound wasted taillight that I ordered, is I'm going to create a Frankenstein taillight and use the best parts of this, what I have left, and this bezel after being repaired, and I'm gonna put that on the car. So let's go for that. Motherfucker. All right, so here we are, kind of through the disassembly of the bezel. Look what I found. There's a snail, or a dead snail. I wonder how long that's been in there. This is our offending broken tab. The good thing is the rest of the tab is still right there, so I should be able to line it back up like a jigsaw puzzle, glue it in place, and hope that we can get it all back together. This guy's pretty crusty. It's just as crusty as mine. This is missing on mine. This looks like a harness holder, actually, when you see the harness in the back of the car. Also, the bulbs and sockets look to be better, so I might lift this harness and put it on the one that's on my car. But other than that, yeah, it's basically junk. So the lenses don't even look that good. This looks way worse than mine, and these are kind of scuffed up too. So yeah, not too bad, but not what I wanted. All right, I took off the bezel. I got it drying over here with so I cleaned it up and then I glued the little boss on. So we'll let it sit for a bit. Hopefully it can sit tight. I got all the screws there ready. So this is a comparison of the one that came off my car, even though it was half mounted, and the one that I bought. I got to remove all of this this butyl. It looks like they tried to reseal it a bunch of times. If they had a leak in this area, you could see it's all crudded up, cracked up. So I'm gonna clean this one up because I think this will be our prime. I got a flathead screwdriver to take off what I can here. I have brand new butyl, so I'll try to clean it up as best we can here without damaging it. One thing I was noticing is it looks like some of the wires, there's like a bit of a splice job here. I'm not really certain why. This one doesn't have it. It does have white tape, which usually looks like it came from Nissan, and everything else is basically the same. So I'm not sure why these are all spliced up like this. I'm tempted to keep it because I know that the left-hand tail light is the same. So I think I'll run with this harness for now. I'll save that harness here. I don't want to throw anything out. So I'll save that harness, bulbs, and all that good stuff, just in case it works better or this one doesn't work for some reason. So all right, so let's get this cleaned up. All right, here we are, basically complete. My glued on tab seems to have held All right, here we are with the Frankenstein taillight basically complete. My glued on tab seems to have held up, as you can kind of see right there. Actually, the camera's not helping me, but yeah, right in that corner. So that seems to have worked. Let it glue for about an hour. Everything else seems okay. I took all the butyl off, all this, the sealant, most of it. You know, you can see some remnants there, and degreased the whole back of it, and degreased the whole bezel as well. There was like a cigarette butt in the butyl at the bottom of it. So this is pretty much ready for a new set of butyl, and then we're gonna stick it on the car right now. All right, all butyled up, ready to go. I'm not really prepping this surface. You can see the shit rust there on the trunk. Yuck. Yeah, lots of work to do in here, guys, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm gonna just pop it on. They're M5 nuts that go on here. I got some washers too, and then we're gonna put on the center grill as well. All right, check this out. We are complete on the rear end of the car. Put in the Skyline center garnish. Got both taillights in, all wired up. Everything looks like it fits pretty well. I noticed that this side, as I was putting the taillight in, maybe it's just me being kind of OCD. It didn't look like the taillight went as far in to the base plate as the left-hand side. Maybe there was a knock on this corner at some point, and it's 25-year life. I'm not really certain. It does look like it fits up pretty well. I think that the bumper is slightly shifted to the right by a couple mils. It's not too bad, but yeah, everything lines up and looks really well. So, all right, now on to the next bit. All right, so the next thing in the mess of the trunk that you have to put in is this like supporting brace. It's got this big ass brace here. I'm gonna turn the light that goes across the back of the car, covers up the battery, sits right below the strut tower brace, as you can see. Mine's kind of crusty. I bought it off another car. This one, the car didn't even come with it. So it looks like it bolts, so it's got 2 nuts up there, 2 on the other side, 2 bolts in each corner. Looks like we got 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts in the center, and then the rest of these little mounting points are for the coverings in the trunk. So I'm not going to install any of the coverings because I don't see any point if I'm just going to keep doing kind of resto work in this area. But it's good to have the brace in place. So I'm going to see if I have some nuts that are big enough for these. I'm not really certain because these are like, they look like M8s, so I might have to go to the hardware store and buy a couple. I'm not entirely sure. So let's move on to that. All right, pulled the car out. It's a little more light outside, so I can work on the interior with some natural daylight. But yeah, let's check her out here in her beauty with those new taillights installed. Dun, dun, dun. Sexy. Finally looks like a Skyline, right? You need the taillights. You don't get the taillights, it's not a Skyline. I don't really care what anyone says. My favorite part of the car has to be the wheels. I just can't get over these things, man. These are gnarly as fuck. My favorite part of the car has to be the wheels. I mean, they just fit this car perfectly. Freaking massive, but it just looks like they're supposed to be on there. Sleek, man. Ooh-wee. Damn. Needs to do some driving. All right, moving on to the interior. I did a quick check. I just started the car, and I spun the steering wheel the same amount, both left and right. And I noticed, so putting the wheel straight, as you can see, the wheel's straight, and the steering wheel's like cocked at a fucking angle like an idiot. So I basically noticed that I can get the exact same amount of turns left and right. So it's 1 1/4 turns full, back to center. So that means that this steering wheel is in the wrong place, basically. I thought maybe I had a bent tie rod. I noticed that the airbag seemed kind of loose. That led me to believe that it had been removed before. So as you'd expect, I'm going to remove it now and put it straight. All right. Annoyingly, I concede defeat on the steering wheel. All right. Annoyingly, I concede defeat on the steering wheel. Turns out I need a T50 Torx, male Torx bolt, and it has to have a hole in the middle because there's a pin that goes on the top of the Torx on these airbags. I guess that's just kind of a like a safety proof thing so people don't take airbags out of cars very easily. So I gotta go buy one of those. I don't have one. I checked the shop, so we're fresh out of luck there. The next thing I was gonna do was start ripping out this tint. You can see it. Where's the corner? Top corner there. I started to take it out. I just haven't finished it. It's a pain in the ass on this rear window, no joke. So a couple of websites have shown that I guess there's two main methods. I could use the trash bag method with like ammonium based degreaser, lay a trash bag on the inside and then heat up from the outside, and it should just rip off. Or the method which I think I'm going to use is a steamer. So just taking a steamer to a corner, steam up the whole thing, and then just start ripping up the pliable tint at that point. This tint looks really old, so I think it's going to break apart. I'm not happy about that, but I'll start with the steamer, so I'll try that next week, and then I have this window as well to do. So yeah, tint's coming off. I guess the next thing I want to tackle on the interior, or that I can tackle, is probably understanding why this door glass is the way it is. It kind of doesn't sit well. It looks like the something's not set correctly in here. You see it's pretty wide, and then it kind of narrows off. So the door closes, but it looks like there's a gap here for the seal. So I need to figure out why the window is not butted up against this and pull the whole assembly towards the outside. While I take this door panel off, I'm gonna put in the little door glide guy that goes right with the door pin in the front here, because those were missing as well. So that's next. All right, small progress, but it's progress nonetheless. Been cleaning up in here. I keep finding like little droppings all over the workshop, and I found a couple in here and I was fucking pissed. It's probably like a mouse or a rat was in here at one point. Put the rear seats back in, as you can see. I got my speaker shelf all installed back there, which is good. The only thing that might irritate me about putting that back in is I still got to take the tint out. So I looked up the two methods. I think I'll use the steamer method, but I think it's good to have the speaker shelf in place, so at least the steam, if it drops, it won't hit the metal and like corrode or anything. So maybe it's a good idea I put it in. So that, I think the back seat's all done. I'm just missing two of these bolts, these little back bolts here. I might have some actually, so I'm gonna look and see if I have them in place. I probably do. So not too bad. Moving up here to the front, I wasn't sure what to do first. I got to figure out this AVCR. That's definitely a problem. The alarm's still in place, and obviously it's not stopping the car from starting or driving. So for now, I think I'm going to keep the alarm in, just kind of tidy up the wires and close it all up. But the AVCR boost controller, I need to like reroute to this side, and then I need to kind of see if it's, check all the wiring. There's a harness. There's a harness that goes to it. Let's see where we're at here. Got hooked around the seat. There you go. Okay, so this harness goes to the AVCR, little pigtail guy, and I suspect that there's a bad ground or something in it, because it shouldn't always fire. Like, that shouldn't be firing constantly. When I'm running the car, it's going clack, 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 clack. That's the AVCR, the boost controller. We go right up on it. It's definitely the boost controller solenoid. So definitely something I don't want to happen. So I need to figure out why it's doing that, and how to stop it. Supposedly that sound should only really happen when it's under boost, and I'm not under boost. I'm at vacuum at idle, so need to figure that out. But other than that, just making a slow, methodical trip through the interior now. This will be, I guess, the busy area for the next 2 weeks, I suspect. I got a lot of issues with the cluster, got issues with the steering wheel being mismounted. I checked the steering wheel, I think I told you guys, about rotating it 1 1/4 turn each way, so I can tell that at least the linkages are the same length as I was rotating it. And then the steering wheel, when it's straight, is basically mounted like that. It was definitely dismounted because it's very loose, the airbag, and I could tell it's been removed a couple times. So I suspect it was just mounted and removed and put on in the wrong spot. I did the exact same thing on my 240, and I drove with it like 3 teeth to the right. And I remember I had a personal steering wheel, and I'd be driving straight and the steering wheel was like fucking cocked, and I was just, I don't know, I wasn't smart enough to fucking put it back on correctly. So I'm going to try to rectify that. It won't be this weekend because I don't have the correct torque, the T50 with the hole in the middle, to do that. But we're, yeah, at least I know what I got to do. All right, so we're making some more progress in the interior. I figured I'd show you a couple more interesting things I found. I took out the glove box, as you could see, and it looks like the aerial antenna is tied with a bread bag tie wrap onto what I assume is the AC fan. I don't know what the fuck else is going on here. There's a speaker wire right there. That looks like another one of those fucking crossovers that I gotta rip out. Solid. Smart entrance. That looks like it came from Japan. So, but anyways, going over the harness here, right, for the both the ECU and for the power, the AVCR I got right here. So the AVCR has a harness. This is the AVCR's harness here, and it's a splice in to the main engine harness. As you can see, it's spliced in obviously the worst possible way I've ever seen. I mean, there's butt connectors on top of butt connectors here. It's just ridiculous. So I don't know exactly what's causing it to go wrong. I can take a couple guesses at the way that this is all jacked up, but I bet there's just the ground is not hooked up correctly. So, like, what the fuck? There's like 3 wires going in there. There's another one too. I don't know what the fuck this is. Anyways, this is a mess. I'm probably best to actually unplug the ECU, lay this out straight, and match up the wires and see to at least make sure the wires are going to where they should go, and then we can go from there. So we're here. I brought the car around in the compound. Wanted to try to hit boost, and I did. That was cool. Lots more to do still on the interior, definitely in the wiring. The wiring's pretty fucking ridiculous still, but yeah, I mean, I'm pretty stoked, definitely. Still can't get over the damn lights. I love the HID headlights, the seriously headlights. They really do the part. Still lots to do in the interior, definitely. You know, quite a bit, throwing the seat in, lots of wiring to do, but you know, just right now, testing tune, quite a bit still to do. But I think with that, I'll sign out here. If you liked the video and what I did today, I didn't really do too much, but if you liked it and you like the car and you want to see more, just give me a thumbs up, subscribe, or just leave a comment just so I know I'm doing the right things, or tell me what kind of content you want to see. So on that note, peace.